Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Steven Russo.
I'm Anthony Gonzalez.
Let's fucking go. Now, guys, I know you're looking at the description. You're probably like, Steven, your last episode was number 19. Why the fuck does it say 5? Well, here's the thing. We made this little Linkin Park special back about 6 months ago in July.
You use the term little,
Very
uh,
liberally.
yeah.
So, it's been a little while. Back in July, to refresh your memory, Anthony and I did a whole Linkin Park special where we went over all of the albums, and we had a lot to say about all of it. Obviously, because fucking shit, dude, it's Linkin Park. There's a lot of shit to unpackage there. The first time we tried to make this, we thought it was gonna be one sitting. We ended up making 2 parts.
I definitely knew it wasn't going to be one sitting. Now, back then, I had a really bad mic, too.
Yeah, but here we are. We upgraded, bro.
Yep.
We upgraded, and now here we are. So, if you recall, we went over the first 3 albums for Linkin Park. Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and fucking Minutes to Midnight. There it is. Minutes to Midnight. We did that in the first part, so go ahead and check that out to go and break down their early days. Then we kind of went into their electronic era when they had 1,000 Suns. Then we did good old Living Things, and I think we ended there. I think it was just 1,000 Suns and Living Things. And then we were so burnt after 3 hours of straight filming that we decided to just do the next part another day. But then there was a UFC pay-per-view. Then there was another UFC pay-per-view. Then there was a WWE event. All of which were time sensitive and we had to cover. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, Linkin Park isn't putting out a whole lot of new stuff lately, so we knew we can bring this all back at some point. I mean, with the exception of the Meteora 20th anniversary. Yes, I'm aware of it. Yes, I heard Healing Foot. Yes, I heard More the Victim. Yes, I heard Lost and Fighting Myself. So, yeah, I did hear that, but those were...
That another day has come today.
But that another day has come today. So part 3 is here, guys. Today we're going to be going over Hunting Party, which is right over here. This is their 2014 album, their 6th studio album. And then we're going to go over the one in the middle there, which is One More Light. And then at the very end, I have a little new one right over there. That is Mike Shinoda's Post Traumatic album. I'm counting it as a Linkin Park album because, well, it kind of is. For those of y'all that don't know, Mike Shinoda did a lot of the production on a lot of the Linkin Park tracks way back when. So he wrote, performed, and produced that album right there as an immediate reaction to Chester's death. He even had a whole little solo tour with it. And we're gonna get into all of that, go over some standout songs, and all the fun.
But this one shouldn't last 3 hours. So
We're gonna hope so, because I got SmackDown to watch.
yeah.
So, anyway, so we're gonna go over Hunting Party real quick. So let's look at the track list here. We have Keys to the Kingdom, banger. We have All for Nothing, Guilty All the Same, Summoning, War, Wastelands, Until It's Gone, Rebellion, Mark the Graves, Drawbar, Final Masquerade, and A Line in the Sand. That's quite the fucking load. Now, I'm going to give my 3, obviously, like we did in the last episode. So my big 3 off of this album that I love to hear is Guilty All the Same, Rebellion, and Final Masquerade. And Anthony, from that lovely list, can you pick out 3 that you like the best?
I liked Guilty All the Same.
There we go.
War
was good.
And Final Masquerade.
Final Masquerade. So we're going to go over all of them right now, and we're going to start off with Guilty All the Same. So get ready, folks, because this is going to be quite the dive. So, this is their 2014 album, and of course they're coming off of a rather lackluster, as lackluster as fucking Linkin Park can get in my eyes. I fucking love Linkin Park. Every album they've ever made, I find beauty in.
I would say more lackluster than the previous albums did.
Yes, and then obviously everybody loves to go to Meteora, Hybrid Theory as like the ultimatum best of Linkin Park. And I'm not going to say I disagree with you because I don't disagree with you. Those are the albums that I find myself listening to the most, but you have to acknowledge all the other ones, and all the other ones do have their gems in them. Obviously, we've made 3 parts of this shit, so There's some gems in every Linkin Park album, and if you didn't know, now you know. I feel like Dana White now.
Well, I mean, now they have a list that they can go back and
You know,
listen to.
exactly. So we're gonna start it off with "Guilty All the Same." It is the third track on the album, right off of the intro of Keys to the Kingdom, which was crazy. All for Nothing was a good little follow up, but "Guilty All the Same" did. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. This is a good one. Now I don't know if it's just my interpretation of I'm going before we get into "Guilty All the Same," just in Hunting Party in general. I don't know if this is me just putting a tinfoil hat on and speculating like a crazy man, but this entire album kind of follows a story of like a war and a rebellion within some kind of a kingdom. If you really go back and listen to it all in order and put war context to it.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
hmm
There's no way that this is not a linear story you can follow through and through if you pay close enough attention.
Like you kind of have to like listen to this album in order. You can't shuffle it. You trust me, guys. I've
You're
tried.
lost.
You're lost. If you follow this from Keys to the Kingdom to A Line in the Sand, it's a whole fucking story. And I'll let you do the interpretation for yourself. I'm not going to take up all the time talking about my speculation on it and Anthony's speculation on it, because then that'll just be another hour and a half.
Plus,
So
plus you don't have SmackDown recording,
yeah.
so.
Anyway, so Guilty All the Same. We're gonna go, and we started off with "Tell Us All Again What You Think We Should Be, what the answers are, what it is we can't see." I'm gonna do that a lot, guys.
Already breaking into song.
Tell us all again how to do what you say, how to fall in line, and how there's no other way. But oh, we all know you're guilty all the same. Too sick to be ashamed. You want to point your finger, but there's no one else to blame. All right, so that's a lot to unpackage right there. So, guilty all the same. I mean, honestly, this is like yelling a big fuck you to whatever leader is in front of you. Honestly, that's what it seems like. And at this point in the linear story, they're pretty much already uh getting ready for, their own war, getting ready for their own spoils. So, this one is basically like a big fuck you to any kind of like leader. This could be for the opposing kingdom that they're going to war against, or it could be about their own. I think it might be about the opposing one, seeming as they're probably going to be on board with the war until war, and then from war down to fucking A Line in the Sand. It's pretty much the entire kingdom going mutiny mode. Um, so that's what I'm getting from it. Just a big fuck you to any kind of leader, and us saying we refuse to comply with how you want us to live, and a little bit angsty, a little bit punk rocky emo. I should put my hair in front of my face and start saying how much my life sucks. But that's what I'm getting from it to this point. But it could also be like, can reach this out into like not even just leaders. You can reach this out to people that you know. You can reach this out to ex friends, ex lovers, whatever the fuck. Guilty all the same. Too sick to be ashamed. You know, you want to point your finger, but no one else to blame.
I feel like at this point, it is about the leaders in charge, and what I find is true in most cases or not is that people shove off their responsibilities to those lower tier, and then like they're not held accountable. It's these guys and then these guys. So yeah, say what you want, but you're guilty all the same.
Exactly. You're just going out of your way to avoid this shit. All right, so show. Then we're gonna go into our next verse. Show us all again that our hands are unclean, that we're unprepared. You have what we need. God damn it, guys! It's gonna happen a lot today. Um, but show us all again, because we cannot be saved, because the end is near. Now there's no other way, and oh, you will know you're guilty all the same. We're gonna go right back into our lovely chorus. But before we go into that, I can't believe I didn't do it off the
I was
top.
gonna say, man.
Pepsi, hit us up. We got your product here. And I mean, if Pepsi, if you don't get to us in time, Logan Paul, KSI, I got your Prime bottle right here. Feel free to send me some shit. Feel free to sponsor me. I know you sponsored Alexander Volkanovski, and I'm not nearly as much of a superstar as him, but I'd surely appreciate it. Um, so that's what we're gonna do. And now we're gonna get into the second verse. cracking open a Mountain Dew. Anyway, so once again, same theme of shoving your responsibilities to those that are lower than you.
And what this also brings into view, into focus, is what with, like, let's say an unjust war or any war of the sort, it's usually going after something and something being held from them.
Hmm.
In this case, when he says, "What's in your hands that we need,"
That you have what we need.
that can be anything from leadership to resources to information, and it's being withheld from, like, the low tier grunts or the masses,
Yep.
and that's like a slight to power is how I take that.
That's basically what this entire song is. It's like keeping your leaders accountable because to be honest, you're just taking a giant shit on all of us, and here we are shoveling your shit. Like that's not fair. But that's and then we go back into the chorus. Uh, Guilty all the same. Too sick to be ashamed. By the way, guys, like this entire instrumental, it kind of encapsulates the message in tow, and like in total, it like makes it the complete package. Because if you listen to the guitar riffs and the drums, it's all very low and very angry. And if you go and you listen back to it, it's something that it was like a direction that Linkin Park went into that they really hadn't touched on before. Well, they did touch on it before, but hadn't in recent time. Keep in mind, guys, when this album came out in 2014, we're coming off the heels of Living Things, which I mean, although a great album, it was electronic rock. It wasn't really that heavy. And then we're also coming off of the post-apocalyptic, really fucking weird A Thousand Suns album as well. So there comes to be an expectation that Linkin Park's gonna go more into like the electronic range to this point. But then they dropped this fucking bombshell on us and said, haha, guess what? We still do the heavy shit, bro. Guess what? Now we just wanted to experiment a little bit. And that's like another thing that I just love about Linkin Park. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in every other part. I don't know, I didn't go back and watch it, guys. But you totally should. But I didn't in preparation for this. And like, that's what I love about Linkin Park is that they're not defined by one sound. They're not just that new metal angsty kids that we had. Forgive me for that, guys. My dog's going a little bit nuts right now.
Lolly
Jesus.
went cray cray.
Molly went cray cray, guys. Everything okay? I think everything's good. I'll just have to edit this part out. Anyway, that's what I love about this album. Is like you know,
What I like, especially with a group, and Linkin Park's a great example, is that they don't let themselves get pigeonholed to just one lane. They don't just do that, or they're not just only gonna do this because it works and it's successful. So we'll keep it going until everyone's tired of it. They're free to branch out, you know?
yep. And that's what I love about it, cause like listening to Linkin Park, bro, you go on a crazy emotional journey every single time. You come out a different person each time you put the Linkin Park list on shuffle.
Do you feel them, sir?
Oh, I felt them, sir. But yeah. So there's also a cool little rap part here that I believe I forget the fucking rapper's name right now. What's his name? Is it? Fuck. I know it's. Hang on. I'm gotta check my sources. Rakim. Yeah, that's the name of the rapper in this. So he had a pretty cool verse in this, and he goes, "Yeah." After the second chorus, yeah, you already know what it is. Can y'all expect what kind of land is this when a man has plans of being rich, but the boss's plans is wealthy? Dirty money scheme, a clean split nonsense. It's insane. Even corporate hands is filthy. Uh, guys, that like confirms what this song's about. You know.
If it's the Rakim I'm thinking of, then it's
Hmm.
one of the big names.
Yep, it is the Rakim you're thinking of, I believe. So and then it's dirty money scheme, clean split. No, I already said that. All they think about is bank accounts, assets, and realty. At anybody's expense, no shame with a clear coincidence. No regrets and guilt free. They claim that it ain't the way that they built me. Smoke screen before the flame, knowing as soon as the dough or the deal peak. So Yeah. He's just going into it saying like everybody, anybody that's above you is gonna be pointing their fingers, saying, "Yeah,
They're in it to fill their own ends.
they're in it to fill their own ends." And and then he's just basically saying it like all they're caring about is their bank accounts, their assets, and their realty. Like, that's all they care about. They don't care about me as a person. They don't care that we're about to go into this fucking unjust war that we don't want to be a fucking part of. We don't want to do this. We don't want to go by their orders, but they're gonna make us. Because if they don't, they're gonna probably like fucking hang us. I don't know. But so he had a really good little He goes on another thing, but it's still basically the same subject throughout. Um, Holding the leaders accountable and the people getting shit on. And that's basically this whole song, and I love it for it. You know, this whole song's great. Rakim did amazing. Chester Bennington and Linkin Park, obviously, always gonna do great every single time they do something.
And always gonna have a message for you.
And they always that's there's no shortage of lessons that you can learn from Linkin Park. You just gotta listen a little bit closer, get past all those power chords, and actually listen to what's being said.
Or learn how to do like an 18-second scream.
Yeah, I can do that. Hee hee. But that's guilty all the same. And what was another one that we wanted to do? Uh,
Final Masquerade.
Final Masquerade, and you wanted War. I know that, right?
Yeah, and you had
I had Guilty all the same, Rebellion, and Final
Rebellion.
Masquerade, and I think you were Guilty all the same, Rebellion and War.
No,
So,
Guilty all the same. War and Masquerade.
War and Masquerade. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go with the ones that we got in common as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
So to Rebellion we go. Now, guys, Rebellion's a crazy song. It's totally slept on. Y'all have not listened to that song enough, and you need to start listening to it because it's that fucking good. And I'll tell you one thing. They got what the fuck is dude? They got Darren Malakian, who's the lead guitarist for System of a Down, the Armenian new metal band. He got him from there, and he did a riff on this track, and it's apparent immediately. Like you can hear the System of a Down in the beginning.
You
And
know System of a Down when you hear it.
you really do. One more light fell, guys. That's unfortunate. One more light suffered. One more light. Anyway, so you guys, if you're a System of a Down fan, you know what you're gonna expect, and and as soon as you hear that guitar riff at the beginning, you know it's Darren. So here we go. With the lyrics pulled up here. We got Mike Shinoda. He kicks us off going into the first verse after Darren let us in with his own little guitar riff, and then he goes, "I've seen the blood. I've seen the broken, the lost in the sights unseen. I want a flood. I want an ocean to wash my confusion clean." So, What are we taking away from that one, Ant?
That is being overwhelmed by
Mm.
something and just trying to wash the slate clean with as much as you can because that's how lost you are.
I can't resolve this empty story. I can't repair the damage done. Yeah, that pretty much confirms it. Can't repair the damage done, so I'm trying to just wipe this shit clean, but I can't resolve the story here. I'm I'm fucking hella confused and don't know why I'm here. Type deal. And then we get Chester coming in with the chorus, and it's we are the fortunate ones, never faced oppression's gun. We are the fortunate ones, imitations of rebellion. So, that song, now it's time. We're getting a little bit after our soul searching that we just did in that first verse. This is our fucking solution. Revolt on everybody that's in power. Yes! Gonna go Hunger Games on their ass.
Oof, I just remembered a great quote I
And
saw
what's
yesterday.
the quote?
It was, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do you know who said it?
No, I saw it on the car when I was leaving work.
Fuck. Well, I guess we'll never know. If y'all know who said that quote, leave it in the comments. But that's the conclusion that we came to. Let's rebel.
Rebellion.
Let's fucking go. We about to say fuck you to all these leaders that we were just fucking dunking on.
That we did all the dirty work for.
That we did all the dirty work for and we just dunked on and guilty all the same. So here we go. This is it materializing. Then Mike goes into the second verse saying, "We acted out, we wear the colors, confined by the things we own. We're not without, we're like each other, pretending we're here alone. And far away they burn their buildings right in the face of the damage done." So yeah, they're ready. They're like, yeah, we acted out and we wear the colors now. We finally said, fuck yeah, we're gonna rebel. Thank you, Chester, for that much needed information. Now we're gonna go. Now we're gonna go, and we're not gonna hold back. And then they're confined by the things they own. Sure, they don't have the same resources, but they got each other and they got a common cause. And I'm telling you, just like any kind of fight, if you have something that you're fighting for, you're gonna fight hard and you're gonna fight effectively. So that's basically what I'm getting from this. And I'm not saying it needs to be like a physical battle, but speaking out, saying how you feel, like really putting yourself out there a little bit. It can also just encapsulate rebellion. Obviously, I'm talking more in the literal sense. Like I'm gonna grab a bow and a fucking sword, or I'm gonna grab a gun and a fucking batch of fireworks, and I'm gonna go and start some shit. So
Well, whenever you're not doing what they tell you, the people in charge is, that's already a sense of rebellion. Just that in and of itself.
yeah,
That's what they call it.
even if you just passively resist, take the MLK route, bro. That's still rebellion. So I think like yeah, we're talking about it in a rebellion context, but like Mike Shinoda and Chester Bennington are really basically trying to tell you to speak up for yourself and like to really make yourself known and not hold yourself to like what other people may want from you.
It's letting you know you're not powerless. You don't have to just sit back and watch or be complacent.
Yeah, and that's basically what they're getting from this. Of course, I'm putting it in a war instance. I'm putting some testosterone in this. But yeah,
So that message goes anywhere.
exactly. And then far away we burn their buildings right in the face of the damage done. So like, yeah, here we are. We're the people that you fucking damaged, and look at that, your fucking building's burning. Or hey, look at that, I finally spoke up against you, and you don't know how to reply. Ha ha. So that's what we got here, and then of course we go back into Chester and Mike Shinoda singing in harmony now. Same instrumental. Darren's still grilling that guitar in the background. And, they're saying, we are the fortunate ones, never face oppression's gun. We are the fortunate ones, imitations of rebellion. So, then we head into the bridge after some absolute power chord cooking coming from Darren and a beautiful harmony between Mike and Chester, like they always did. And then we get into the bridge. Chester Bennington absolutely screaming at the top of his lungs, "Rebellion, rebellion." We lost before the start. Rebellion, rebellion. One by one, we fall apart. We fall apart. We fall apart. We fall apart. But yeah. So, eh, fucking, I don't think I gotta say much there. You got anything to say?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
It pretty much speaks for itself. So, moving on. So that's Rebellion, guys, and then we just go into one more chorus. The instrumentals come down a little bit. Darren starts cooking his guitar for a second, and kind of just lets it die down a little bit, and then we go into the final chorus, and then eventually the song ends in a very beautiful way, and it perfectly flows into "Mark the Graves," which is immediately after this one. But let's talk about let's talk about before we go into "Mark the Graves," because we will have to touch on "Mark the Graves." Let's talk about Final Masquerade, guys. Final Masquerade is the second to last track on Hunting Party. It's right before A Line in the Sand and right after Drawbar. So, Final Masquerade, guys. This is, I think, on my list of favorite Linkin Park songs because I have a note about this. My favorite, um, Actually, no. Wait, shit, fuck, bitch. Hang on. Where did I put it on here? I should have put it somewhere on here. Oh yeah, I put it at. It's in the top 10, guys. In my favorite Linkin Park songs, it's at number 7. Because I did rank these, but Final Masquerade is absolutely beautiful. I love the production behind it, and I love the way it sounds, the way Chester's voice like projected it, the way he projected his voice, the way he delivered the lyrics, and of course, on top of that, guys, you can't talk Linkin Park unless we talk in lyrics, guys. These lyrics fucking hit, and boy, did they got a lot. They got a lot of double meanings under them, but that's like the beautiful part about it, because like it doesn't necessarily need to be conformed to one little interpretation, you know.
It's amazing when you can say something and mean multiple different instances that can be taken in multiple different situations.
And Linkin Park was just exceptional at doing that. It didn't matter what song they hopped on. They did that. I say spit on my fucking mic.
I saw that
Uh,
out the corner of my eye.
so they did that in like at least a couple of songs, every single album, if not every song that they've ever put out there. It's always had multiple meanings, always had multiple interpretations, always sounded great, and always fucking delivered. So, like, that's just one of the things. But without further ado, let's get into Final Masquerade. Now, this song is a little bit different than the rest of the album. It's not as heavy, but it's still intense, if that makes any sense in the slightest. Like, it doesn't have like the power chords. It doesn't have your hardcore drumming, but like just the way Chester projects his voice and the sounds that Joe Hahn was able to make behind Chester really like emotionally encapsulated this entire song and kind of wrapped it with a bow on top. Like it didn't need to have like a bunch of because there was no screams in this. It's just Chester singing the whole time. But the way they produced it and the way they kind of cooked it up, it made it very emotional and very like intense and made it have some kind of a meaning. Like when I picture like this song, I see like the picture that gets drawn in my head when I'm hearing this song is like I'm watching like a sunset over here. Like I'm seeing everything that I did in the past over here. It's in front of me, but it's setting. But then I look behind me where I'm supposed to go next, and there's my future. It's a lot brighter. It's like cuz this song really kind of encapsulates an ending and then a beginning. So like when I'm seeing myself on a beach. I'm looking at a sunset. That's my past right there. But behind me is kind of like this weird like Tatooine thing. Like you have like dual sun cycles. So like behind me is this new sun, this new life. Yeah, sure, I'm kind of not going there right now, and I know I came from over there. But now I'm looking over here, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, things are pretty looking a little bit better over here. Even though I'm used to looking at this all the time, I kind of want to look at that now. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a psycho thinking about it like that. But fuck it. Let's get into what Chester's saying here. So, tearing me apart with words you wouldn't say, and suddenly tomorrow's a moment washed away. 'Cause I don't have a reason and you don't have the time, and we both keep on waiting for something we won't find. That can be taken in a lot of directions. And what is your first impression on that shit? Fuck.
That our setup is not stable.
Nah, it's not in the slightest, guys. There we go. Beautiful.
So what I take from that is waiting for something instead of initiating what's gonna lead to there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense
Like a shit or get off the pot type of
here.
scenario.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm like sitting here, I'm waiting for something to happen, but now like me doing all this waiting,
You're
we
not
both
making it happen.
keep on waiting for what we won't find. And you can even take this into like a relationship sense. Like when something's really like truly ended like that, you can look at it like that. Like, yeah, we're waiting for something to fix us, but nothing's fixing us. So why the fuck are we still here? Type deal. So you can think of it in that sense. You can think about it in just a personal sense, like with you yourself. Like you see how you can take this in multiple fucking ways. It's just like as like a personal thing. Like and be like, yeah, so here I am saying I'm gonna do all these things, saying I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be more consistent at the gym. I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I want to start that business. I want to make this. I want to do that. And then you just don't fucking do it. What the fuck, bro? What the hell are you doing? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, the opportunity's in front of you. You gotta go. It's not gonna fall into your lap. You gotta go and make that shit happen. And that's what I'm getting from it. And then we go into our nice little chorus here. The light on the horizon was brighter yesterday, with shadows floating over. Scars began to fade. Said it was forever, then it slipped away, standing at the end of the final masquerade. The final masquerade. So, as far as the chorus is concerned, light on the everybody says there's light on the horizon when like you're going through something rough, right? Going through something rough, you're like, yeah, there's light on the horizon. But then this dude's saying the light on the horizon was brighter yesterday. So like, yeah, there was a light there. There is light on the horizon, but you gotta fucking get there because that shit was brighter yesterday. Your opportunity is slipping from you,
The
and
sooner you go after it, the further you're getting towards it.
then he said with shadows floating over, scars began to fade. You know, so you still got all these like things that are holding you back from because even though you had this shadow looming over you, preventing you from going to that light on the horizon, your scars are starting to fade. Like you're not as damaged as you think you are. Like yeah, you went through that. Yeah, you're fucking hurt, but guess what? Your scars are fading. They're gonna go away, and that's what I'm getting with that. We said it was forever, and then it slipped away, standing at the end of the final masquerade. That one's a little bit more complicated for me to truly explain. You kind of just have to listen to how it's delivered, and you know what it means. I don't know, Andy. Think you can kind of encapsulate that into like a sentence? Because I'm having some difficulty over here doing that. Said it was forever, but then it slipped away, standing at the end of the final masquerade. The last part's easy to say, like, no more masks now. I'm not gonna stop holding. I'm not gonna hold back anymore. This is the final time I'm gonna do it.
So the way I would encapsulate that, or try to encapsulate that, is movement, forward movement, because obviously, in my eyes, the final masquerade is you were just playing at this. You didn't really mean it, or you didn't put enough into it. You were just pretending like it, which is why it didn't last forever.
And
Be-
then, yeah,
that's how I would encapsulate it.
that's a good way of doing it. But like, if you listen to, it's really weird saying this, but like, if you listen to the song, you know what it means. It's like this subconscious kind of understanding that your brain does. I don't know, and it's just tough to put into words, and that's why music's kind of cool, you know, because when you can put just a feeling or a statement into a sound or just a stretch of lyrics, and it perfectly like encapsulates it, that's something special. But anyway, we're going into our second verse now. Chester still on the, yeah. No, there's no Mike Shinoda in this song. It's all Chester. And then you go, all I ever wanted, the secrets that you keep, and all you ever wanted, the truth I couldn't speak. Because I can't see forgiveness and you can't see the crime. If we both keep on waiting, and if we both keep on waiting for what we left behind. So, it's like almost like going back to a broken house and trying to fix it. So I'm trying to see that, like, yeah, there's a lot of problems back there, and yeah, there are things that you could have done, but it's back there, homie. It's unfixable. You're missing that one screw. Doesn't matter how much you can rebuild this house if you don't have that one bolt or that one screw. This whole shit's gonna fall apart again. You know, it's like you're looking back at something and you're like, uh, I I think this can be done. Like all I ever wanted is secrets that you keep, and you know I can't see forgiveness and you can't see the crime. If we both keep on waiting, why are we doing this? Since it's already left behind. Like like one like I said, I think that's a good way of encapsulating it. It's like you're missing that one screw. You're missing that one bolt. And it doesn't matter how many times you go back to it. Like what I said, you can't see forgiveness. I can't see forgiveness, and you can't see the crime. It's like I can't forgive you for this, but you don't see that you did this type deal. It's kind of like talking to somebody, maybe somebody that wronged you in the past. Maybe it's a maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's an ex. Like it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a family member. Like and like you're looking back at it and you're like, yeah, this house is fucking broken. And if we both keep on fucking waiting here, trying to flip flop ideas as to how we're gonna fix this shit, we can't because we're missing one. We're missing something, and that something can't be found again, or maybe it was never found in the first place. That's what I got from that. Anthony, you got anything different?
So in this instance, and with this verse, what it brings together for me in my mind is progress and forward movement. Because when I think about this song and hear it, that first verse is about there being a better future for you. That second verse is about the why you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this third verse is basically the reason and the why. Like, you can't see all of this and I can't see all this. We're not seeing each other. We're stagnant right here. We can't keep doing this.
Because we're both just fucking dying in the process.
That's what that.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. And then, of course, we go into our nice little. The song kind of repeats itself towards the end. They basically flex their production muscles at the very end of the song, while still having that really impactful chorus behind it. So, like, the light on the horizon was brighter yesterday, with shadows floating over. The scars began to fade. Said it was forever, but then it slipped away. Standing at the end of the final masquerade, and then like production flex, the final masquerade, production flex, the final masquerade, and standing at the end of the final masquerade, another big production flex, and then goes into the final chorus and eventually wraps the whole song up with a bow. And even though like the instrumentals behind the song itself, like really, really, really complement the lyrics. I can't tell you how much sound and words have worked so well. Other than like this song, I can't think of another example. Like what's being said perfectly matches what you hear. It's one of those. It's just one of those things. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm thinking going about this song. But it's one of the best songs on this album. It's one of my favorite Linkin Park songs out there. And even if you don't want to listen to the entirety of Hunting Party, even though I really recommend you do. It's a really good fucking album. But it gets slept on a lot. But if you don't listen to anything else on here, listen to Final Masquerade. As much as I'll definitely like butter up Rebellion, Guilty All the Same, War, Wastelands until it's gone. I'm gonna butter up those songs for you. But if you don't listen to anything else, listen to Final Masquerade off of this album because I think Final Masquerade really kind of like I keep saying the word encapsulates, but that's like the only word I'm thinking of right now. It like encapsulates the whole album. Like I think it's just everything that we were building towards led to this, leaving behind what was broken. Hence, like we'll go back to the war's instance. The corrupted government, the the bullshit war, the rebellion that happened, all the death and destruction that came with this shit. And now looking back at it, like yeah, ooh, that shit was fucking broken. But guess what? Here I am. We're moving forward past what we were before, and now like this song, like we say a lot about forward movement on the song because that's basically what this song is. It's forward movement.
It's good moving on.
It's a moving on song. Like yeah, it sucks what we had to do. Yeah, it sucks that we couldn't do this, that, the other thing. Yeah, it sucks that we couldn't fix that. Sucks that we couldn't do that. But ultimately, it's better for us to just greener pastures, my friend. Greener pastures. And I think that is exact. Like Final Masquerade just encapsulates the entirety of Hunting Party and what it like the core message of Hunting Party is forward movement and moving on from something that's not working anymore. And fuck, man, I love this album. I love Linkin Park. I love what they are able to do. But that's what we got for Final Masquerade. So I'll say it one more time. If you don't listen to any other song on this album, listen to Final Masquerade. Now, Anthony, let's do some war, shall we? Go over war. War. Linkin Park. I just looked up war on Google and I got a bunch of war headlines. I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, we're kind of in a shit storm at the moment.
Yeah. Anyway, war.
War never changes.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We just got like 3 different references in like a minute. Ugh.
God damn it, bro. Here we go. So, now this song, heavy as fuck, guys. Lots of guitars, lots of drums, lots of screams. It's controlled chaos, to say the least. This entire song. Chester leads the way with "There's no peace, only war. Victory decides who's wrong or right. It will not cease, only grow. You better be prepared to fight, and it will not apologize for laying down your life." Whoa. So war. So guys, it's just I think it speaks for itself. But I mean, a war can mean like an actual physical nation against nation war. War could be like what's going on inside of you. War can be civil. War can be just in interpersonal relationships. Just the concept of war is encapsulated here. That conflict, and shit being broken.
Oddly enough, this immediately reminded me of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse War.
Yeah, me love that. Fucking, what are the four horsemen again? It's famine, it's war, it's is it
Plague.
plague, and fuck, man. There's one more. Plague and it's a drought. Or no, that kind of goes with famine, doesn't it?
Death.
Death. Uh, Hell, kind of a Christian am I? I don't know the four
Hey,
horsemen.
straight up honesty, I only know of it because of Supernatural. That's a great show.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Yeah. Let's go. Um. Anyway, I kind of just leaked my own religious standing. Fuck. All right, YouTube. Don't cancel me. Okay, so here we go. There's no pain. It will spare. Fear has become your only right. And once you're lost in your despair, forever black eternal night. Yeah, nothing good comes out of conflict. If you stay in that broken shit, because like I said before, guys, this song is about broken shit and it not being and it not working and needing something new. This whole song war is about shit that's broken and can't be fixed. It's just a constant conflict. It's constant death. It's constant fear. It's constant despair. You know, like this shit's broken. Like the ultimately like like ultimatum like encapsulation of broken. This song because it's just explaining the concept of war.
Just destruction incarnate.
Destruction, carnage, and nothing ever being resolved except
A winner.
a winner, which there's not a winner. Nobody wins a war. If you win a war, you don't really win. But of course, getting away from the politics of everything. That's and it will not apologize for laying down your life. War, destroyer, war, destroyer. See how destroyer is right after war. How they kind of put those two together.
Synonymous with each other.
Exactly. It's war, destroyer. War, destroyer. Because that's all it is. It's a fucking destroyer. And it needs no side to justify. It needs no side to justify laying down your life. You don't need to explain why you're doing this. You just got to do it, bro. And I think like that's basically what this entire song is. And then we go back to war, destroyer, war. And we just go into that. It's just kind of weird that they put those two together in rapid succession after mentioning what we just mentioned.
See, the problem with war is that it's you versus them or them versus you, and both sides are justified in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's destruction of human life by human hands.
Exactly. Like I don't need. of course, history is always written by the victor. You could never see why the Nazis had a purpose in serving Hitler. But here's the thing, they did in their own way. Because you got to look at the history of it. Like, look at how much Germany got fucked over after World War One.
Yep.
You know, when you're in a total amount of debt and everybody's poor, everybody's hungry, and then this crazy guy comes around saying he hates Jews, then all of a sudden it doesn't sound that bad. As much as I hate to make those kinds of jokes here, but it's just that's the
Listen,
facts.
I'm just gonna put it out like this. There are some people who can see the good in what Hitler's done. I am not one of them.
Neither am I. But at the time, you gotta think of where Germany was at. You know,
Think about it from an infrastructure point. Everyone was digging into Germany's pockets because everyone needed reparations from the last war. It backed them into a corner. They revamped up their war engines. People got jobs. They went on a conquest.
exactly. Now, yeah, that's exactly how it went, and I mean, it was an ethno-nationalistic war that they were going into, but you see, at that time, Germany got behind it. But guess what? America and the Allies also had a reason to go against the Germans. Like I said, each side is justified in their own way at that time. Of course, like I said, history is written by the victor, so most of the time the victor's going to say why they were right, and that's what ends up being the history that is
Mm-hmm.
accepted. Which just that's the way it goes, guys. That's just the way it goes. And so like even though you can't see it, but what the Allies stood for something. They didn't want that to happen. They saw what Hitler was doing, and they're like, "Hey, yo, that's some bullshit. We're gonna stop that shit." And then it ultimately ended up with how many fucking casualties in that entire war? Was it?
Uh,
It's in the 100 millions. I'm pretty sure.
Way too fucking many.
Way too far. Hang on, I'm gonna look up the death count of World War II. Um, World War II death count. Guys, we getting morbid here on the Front Row Access podcast. So let's see. Civilian deaths totaled 50 to 55 million, and 15 million in the military. So
65,
just
70.
about 70. We'll round up because a lot more people. There was also a Holocaust going on, so a lot of people died, and a lot of people died. Let's not do that again, guys. Um, But ultimately, war is a destroyer, and unfortunately, neither side is going to fold until they're forced to fold, and then history gets written from there. And that's basically we have strayed much far away from Linkin Park and gone into
Yeah,
a
I
war
liked how you
discussion.
rounded it back with the war's destroyer.
Yep,
And then let's go back to that.
yep. So war destroyer. That's all it is. Like that's what Linkin Park was trying to deliver with the song War. Like, and of course they put the intensity behind it just so they can get their message across.
Grab your attention and keep it.
Exactly. And yeah, that's been that's pretty much Hunting Party, y'all. Very good album. How much do you rate that out of 10? I give it a good 8.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8 there.
It's like an 8.5, 8 out of 10 album right here. Now, let's go into Linkin Park's last official studio album, which was One More Light. And now, guys, I'm changing the tempo here. Y'all heard it in my voice. One More Light was it was special in a way of it showed how much the band matured as time elapsed. This is their seventh studio album.
Growth and development.
A whole lot of it. Like here we are. We're about 20 years in to these guys' career by the time we hit One More Light. Maybe a little bit under. But it's 2017, their first album came out in 2000. So yeah, just under 20 years. Um and this one was like whole growth and development, very storytelling album, and it had a different sound because we're like keep in mind at this time period 2014, 15, that like we were going off of this. We were going off a Hunting Party, and Hunting Party was a pretty heavy album, guys. Like there's a lot of guitars and drums in that shit. One More Light isn't. It's different. Once again, it goes to the whole Linkin Park is never defined by one sound. This one's a lot more pop, electronic, and even hints of indie in One More Light. And it shows their growth and development because at the beginning of their career, they never thought they'd make an album like that. They never thought they'd make an album like One More Light. Just keep in mind, guys, when they came onto the scene, they were these new metal guys. They were angry, angry kiddos that were mad at their mom, or their producer, or anybody that tried to tell them no. So like that's like they could have never ever thought of making an album about growing up and developing as a human, being a mom or dad, being an adult. Per se, they never really saw it like that because they were really young when they started their career, and like you know, very callous to say the least when they first began. Like, but as you mature, you soften up a little bit.
I was gonna say, youth is wasted on the youthful. What this shows is that through their experiences, they've grown a lot, and take they can take into consideration the viewpoints that aren't just like tunnel vision them.
Hmm.
It's not just this way and only this way, because there's more to it than all that.
And that just naturally happens as you grow up. I've noticed a whole lot of tunnel vision went away. There's still a lot of tunnel vision there, trust me. But it's going away. Anthony's at a further stage of life than me. I'm sure he's brought it now more than I have. So here I am. But guys, that's what this album was. It was a very different album for Linkin Park. And guess what? You would think, Linkin Park switching it up, learning some life lessons. This was probably a really well received album. Wrong. Everybody fucking hated it.
We like Linkin Park for being Linkin Park, even though Linkin Park isn't just defined by one sound.
Everybody fucking hated One More Light when it came out. And y'all motherfuckers, even to this day, I still see some motherfuckers out here shitting on One More Light. Dude, One More Light is amazing. And I will forever die on that hill. If y'all disagree with me in the comments, feel free. But you're not gonna deter me. One More Light is amazing, and it's like the same with like Eminem fans in a way. Everybody's like, maybe not so much, maybe not as a parent, but like when Eminem first started out, we all know how he was. He was fucking crazy, dude. Dude was talking about like all sorts of shit that I shouldn't probably mention on this podcast. But that's how he started, and that's what got him popular because he said all these things, and everybody's like, wait, what the fuck did this crazy white boy just say?
Dude, I'm just saying, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Linkin Park, right? You have 1 page of notes. It lasted over 3 hours, the first one. Some of our UFC, we have 3 pages of notes. We get them done in 2 hours. If we do an Eminem script,
Dog,
it's gonna be at least 5 pages.
on God.
We're never gonna get through it.
No. Guys, I don't think we're gonna do an Eminem podcast. If we do, it's going to be Eminem in a nutshell. It's not gonna be this in-depth analysis, guys. I shit you not. There's only 1 page of notes for the Linkin Park show.
I'm not joking.
There's 1 page. Like, guys, look. I'm gonna put my notebook out in front of the camera. That's 1 page of notes. And you're like, look. There's nothing on the back there. Well, no, wait, that's just the fucking light going through. This was for another podcast. See, this one was for UFC 291. That just goes to show the time period we're in. This was UFC 291. That's all we had for Linkin Park. Legit. And here we are on part 3 6 months later. Ugh. God damn. But regardless, One More Light's a great album. Stop shitting on it. Public service announcement down. But as time has elapsed, though, people have come to accept One More Light more. It was the last time Chester was heard, unfortunately, because you guys know what would happen. Unfortunately, on July 20th, 2017, Chester Bennington unfortunately died by suicide by hanging. and yeah, years of depression and abuse and substance issues really got to him. And with all the hate that he was getting with this album, on top of his own demons that he was trying to deter catching up to him, it eventually led to Chester uh, dying by suicide. I don't like saying committed suicide. That's not it. But
What I like to think about it as is every every day that goes by when you're fighting with depression that you survive is another victory
uh
because it's one of those demons that everyone deals with in their own ways.
yeah, exactly. And some it's more than others. And for Chester, definitely was a lot more. This guy went through a whole lot in his life. And even though he had all the money in the world, he had a very successful band, 6 kids, a wife, you know, he still didn't find joy in anything. And that's what ultimately led to this. And One More Light is the last time we hear Chester's voice in, I guess, in a newer context. Because obviously, can't cure death. And One More Light was, like I said, it's a growth and development album, and it is nice to see the band's maturity after 20 years of being, you know,
Angry punk kids.
angry punk kids, finally growing up and realizing that shit, man. Maybe I am too angry. Maybe I am looking at this a little bit too
Maybe there's
absolute.
more to it than I can see,
Mhm.
and maybe there's more information that I've got to account for before I can pass my judgment or make statements as hardlined without room for error.
Exactly. It's one of those. It's a beautiful album, from top to bottom. There isn't a miss on this album. As far as is it different sounding from Linkin Park? Yes, 100% it is. It's like electro pop. It's even hints, like I said, hints of indie in there. But it was very lyrically driven, this entire album, and you really get to see their growth and where they are. So going down the track list here, like I did with Hunting Party, we start off with Nobody Can Save Me, Good Goodbye, Talking to Myself, Battle Symphony, Invisible, Heavy, Sorry for Now, Halfway Right, One More Light, and Sharp Edges. And guys, every single song is good. Every single song is exceptional, and it hits you in a different way. Now, if I were to form a big three off of this album right here, Halfway Right is my favorite on this album. Halfway Right, fucking Battle Symphony, and Invisible. And that's the big three for me. Well, I can't really decide between Invisible and Nobody Can Save Me. I guess I can put Invisible and Nobody Can Save Me tied for third place, but I think I've been leaning more towards Invisible lately, and it's just personal relation. But and what you got for your top
I would
three?
go with the same for the first two, but my third would have to be Good Goodbye.
Good Goodbye is really good. But and so we're gonna go over this. So Nobody Can Save Me is like one of those songs that like Mike mentioned it in a live performance once. It's one of those songs that they didn't want people to hear until you heard the whole album, you know? And that's why they put it first, because then you're forced to listen to it first. And unfortunately, Chester goes into that singing about everything that he'd been dealing with. It's almost like very dark and ominous, almost as if he was like telling you, hey, I ain't doing okay, man. And this is what I'm going through, and I think this is the way I end. It's very morbid looking back at the way like these songs are constructed and the way that they are portrayed and the timing that they came out at.
It reminds me of that interview you showed me where he said that guy up there.
Mm-hmm. Right. His head's a bad neighborhood. Yeah, he shouldn't go walking up there alone. Because when he does, he doesn't say nice things to himself. But when he's out here in the world, he's fine. But the minute he's alone and gets caught in his head again, then that's that's when that other Chester goes in there and starts talking bad about him, making him feel bad, and then ultimately the other Chester won, and you know took a beautifully talented man away from the world, and then him and so many other people that we've lost to suicide. Him, Avicii, um, who else? Who else died by suicide? Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain. So many, so many talented people taken for the same issue. It's an epidemic, y'all. It's something that you got to pay attention to.
It
And what's up?
it's it really brings into focus the saying where you are your own worst critic, because you can pick yourself apart so so deeply that you can't live with what's left after you go through yourself like that.
Yeah, because ripping yourself to shreds is a lot easier than praising yourself. That's just a given truth of life. As unfortunate as it is, you say you're your own worst critic. That's true. That's 100% true. Like no matter and the song "Nobody Can Save Me" very much describes that. Like that same kind of battle that he had. Like I know I said we go over the ones, but like listen to this. I'm dancing with my demons. I'm hanging off the edge. That's how the song starts. Now, mind you, in the background, it's a little bit cheery. I'll be honest, because like that can also encapsulate like how you are outside of what's going on here, and the fact that it can be so happy sounding out here, but actually it's really fucking dark. That's like what I can see, like a deeper meaning underneath the happy sounding song. Like the storm clouds gather beneath me, waves break above my head. Head first hallucination. I want to fall wide awake now. You tell me it's alright. You tell me I'm forgiven tonight, but nobody can save me. Actually, no, I missed something. But nobody can save me now. I'm holding up a light, chasing out the darkness inside, because nobody can save me. Like, guys, it's almost like listening to it now, it's like kind of crazy. Like, it's almost as if like we knew what was coming before it happened, and we just didn't see it. And that's just how it goes. Like, with, depression, suicide in general, that's usually how it materializes. You just never know. Like, person could be fine. They appear to be great, but internally, man, they could struggle getting out of bed every day. They could struggle with life.
The dichotomy and the juxtaposition, I think that term is the correct
Hmm.
one, is just, it's upsetting how those things can play out.
Hmm. And that's why you gotta check on the people you care about, man. Now I'm going into like a whole mental health thing now, but it's true. It's something you gotta talk about, especially when discussing this album, because seeming as it was Chester's last one, and what would happen afterwards. And you're listening to the lyrics that are in this song right now, the first song on One More Light, and he's already hitting you with some really, really heavy things. You know, really telling you like, hey, man, I'm fucking struggling over here. Like I'm fucking dying over here, and I don't know if there's anything that can save me now. Like, because then we go into the next verse. It's stared into this illusion for answers yet to come. He thinks that like the future is just like an illusion. He can't see it. He's like waiting for the answers to come, but they're not coming. And like he's like, I chose a false solution, but nobody proved me wrong. Like that right there. When I hear that lyric specifically, that I chose a false solution, but nobody proved me wrong, kind of sounds like Chester talking like beyond the grave. Like immediately, like obviously, suicide's one of those things. It can be in the heat of the moment, or it can be planned. It's very, very weird the way it happens. And I chose a false illusion, but nobody proved me wrong. But it's because I've been staring into the future, and it's been nothing but an illusion to me, and I'm not finding any answers, and nobody's helping me get the answers that I'm looking for. There's nobody that's saving me. There's nobody that's coming to help me. Like you're not you're not seeing like what I'm going through. Do you not see it? That's like when I hear that one especially, it kind of just hits me in the heart a little bit because I'm like, ooh. it's like he's talking from the grave, like almost regretting the choice that he made. But the fact that nobody was able to pull him away from it. And yeah, and then we go back into the chorus. And then we go into the bridge here, which has been searching somewhere out there for what's been missing right here. Been searching somewhere out there for what's been missing right here. Right? And like I'm thinking what he means is by searching somewhere out there for something that I'm missing here in my heart. Like there's something that's not making me love where I am.
It's like an answer to fix yourself that he was struggling to find.
And he couldn't find it. Like I've been searching everywhere to find this one thing that I've been missing within myself. And that's like the really, really hard hitting part about this whole song. And then right at the end of the final chorus, he says, "Nobody can save me." Through most of the choruses, like as like it's like nobody can save me now. I'm holding up a light, chasing out the darkness inside, cause nobody can save me. In the final chorus, he said, "I'm holding up a light, chasing out the darkness inside, and I don't want to let you down, but only I can save me." And then you just go, ugh, because like it shows that he was like truly defeated at this point in time. And the fact that like we all just looked by it kind of baffles me. I mean, hindsight, we have the power of hindsight now in 2024 looking back at it, but when this song came out, man, we didn't even think about that. I can even tell you because I was there when the album came out. I listened to it on the first day it came out. And yeah, I didn't see that. I was like, "Oh, this just sounds like a Linkin Park song." Because I mean, throughout the entire career, Chester talked about his depression in all of his music in order to relate to people. But ultimately, it got too much to him, and now he's gone.
So when I hear a song like this, specifically this one, I just think of a lost battle of depression. Because those situations he described all don't come to solutions.
Nope,
Just holding up a light to from the darkness inside you, that's not going to do anything.
nope,
If you're looking at an illusion for some answers to the future, it's already based off of false information. That's not going to help you.
nope. And that's like the crazy part about Nobody Can Save Me. It's a very deeply emotional song. And we all kind of just looked by it. It was pretty bad. And yeah, but it's a great song. The production on it is amazing. And of course, the lyrics speak for themselves. But it is really, really sad. Especially if you look in context as to what happened. Just let's see. This album came out May 19th, 2017. And he died July 20th. It's only 2 months later. They had a whole tour set up. Everything was gonna go down. They were gonna go on the One More Light tour, and then tragedy struck, and then they called the whole shit off. And then and we're gonna get into another song on here though. Next one up, I'm gonna go Good Goodbye here. This song's a little bit more cheery from the darkness that you had and Nobody Could Save Me. There's a bunch of artists on here. We have Pusha T on here. We have Stormzy, and of course Mike Shinoda and Chester Bennington, Linkin Park. So a big collaboration. So we're gonna we're gonna go right into it with the chorus. So say goodbye and hit the road, pack it up and disappear. You better have some place to go, 'cause you can't come back around here. Goodbye. So this like expulsion of somebody from your life, somebody that wasn't right for you, you're out of your life. Instead of holding on like a lot of Linkin Park did in their past albums, now they're learning the strength of letting go, you know? Because even if you look back at the 2010 album, Thousand Suns, you listen to the song Waiting for the End. Hardest part of ending is starting again, right? This is them finally learning the lesson to let it go and start again. You know, like I said, that growth and maturity is something that you see just blatantly apparent throughout this whole album. And this was just one of the lessons that I noticed. Um, and then we go into Mike Shinoda's first verse. It's live for the rhythm. It's something wild and venomous. Enemies trying to read me. You're all looking highly illiterate. I was doing really good.
That's
Now I'm not. Um, blindly forgetting that I'm in the mix. You won't find it. If I'm in the mix, you won't find an equivalent. I'm in here killing it longer than you've been alive, you idiot. And it makes you so mad that somebody else could be stepping in front of you. And it makes you so mad that you're not the only one. There's more than one of you. And you can't understand the fact that it's over and done. Hope you had fun. You got a lot to discuss on that bus headed back where you're from. And once again, it just goes to confirm what you heard in the chorus. This is like their reasoning behind it. It's like saying, yo, there's nobody that's gonna be better than me. I always got me. It doesn't matter. I'm not defined by you, and you're forgetting that as long as I believe in myself, you got no power over me. And now, bye bye.
I think the best part of this is that while it means that, you can also take it into account for yourself
Hmm.
that you have the ability to exit those people who are bringing you down in your life, and that they don't define you because you're the only you.
Exactly. And that's what we love about that. And then we go back into our good old chorus, so say goodbye and hit the road. Pack it up and disappear. You better have some place to go. 'Cause you can't come back around here. Goodbye. Ah, sorry guys. I really do like this song too. And we have Pusha T comes in with the next verse. He said, "Goodbye, good riddance." A period is after every sentence. Did my time with my cellmate, maxed out, so now we finish. Every day was like a hail date. Every night was like a hailstorm. Took her back to my tinted windows, showing out she in rare form. Wings up, I'm airborne. King push, they got a chair for him. Make way for the new queen. The old lineup, the one they cheer for him. Consequences when you ain't there for him. Were you there for him? Did you care for him? You were dead wrong. Alright? That's like your friends supporting you in whatever decision it is, whether it's with yourself or with another person, or your friends kind of empower, like your real friends empowering you to lead the fake friends, or your friends telling you to leave that ex. you know,
It's about a new chapter in life.
hmm it's all about moving on. This whole song's about moving on. And then we go back to Chester's good old chorus. So then we got Stormzy coming in on the third verse here saying, "Yo, let me say goodbye to my demons. Let me say goodbye to my past life. Let me say goodbye to the darkness. Tell them that I'd rather be here in the starlight. Tell them that I'd rather be here where they love me. Tell them that I'm yours. This is all life. And I keep raising the bar like never seen a young black brother in the chart twice. Goodbye to the stereotypes. You can't tell my kings we can't. Met him with Linkin Things in Parks. Now I got a tune with Linkin Park. Now this dude's UK rap. It's tough for me to flow in an American accent when it's a UK rapper.
Just do a UK accent.
Let me say goodbye to the old hoes. Let me say goodbye to the cold roads. And they say I can't die for my postcode. Young little Mike from the Gold Coast. Now I'm inside with my bros gang. Um, so that's just self acceptance at that point. You made the decision that you wanted to leave in the beginning. Your friends supported you, and now this is you saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. Let me say goodbye to these demons. Let me say goodbye to what I was living, how I was living, how I was. Let me say goodbye to the darkness. Let me go and embrace the light. And tell them that I'd rather be here where they love me, right? Than staying where everybody hates me. When Linkin Park before, I know this is Stormzy's part, but Linkin Park before, they would sit on their own darkness a lot in their songs, like this is how it ends. Like I'll paint it on the walls because I'm the one at fault, breaking the habit. This is like I'm living in my own darkness.
I was gonna point out how this verse has connections being made,
Hmm.
which is different than what you were getting and previously leading up to this verse.
And like it caught everybody by surprise. But like I said, man, that theme of growth and development is crazy, and it's very apparent in this song. Because if you go back and you listen to all the other Linkin Park songs, they wouldn't have thought to make a song anything like this when they were like 20, 21 years old, back when the Hybrid Theory came out. And then we go back to our final chorus. Chester goes in there, absolutely kills it, and then the song ends. Very great production on this song, by the way, need I say. Like, they had a little like high pitched voice in the background saying, "Don't you come back no more." It's like a very high pitched, like little squeaky soundy voice. The production behind it, it's a very basic drum beat behind everything. Hardly any guitar. I don't think I heard any guitar in this song. It was mostly all like soundboard and like light drums. Just production sounds and light drums. But it all complements that same kind of notion. It kind of just it complements what the song's saying. It's an upbeat kind of it's an upbeat sound. It's an upbeat beat, and it makes you it makes you feel good. Like you can't help but like jam to this song when you're listening to it, and I jam to it every time it comes on in my car. So
It's a great transition piece because the beginning of it is about moving on, and
mhm.
the end of it is about where you got to and what's ahead of for you.
And it's very hopeful. Need I make an NF reference? But we never went over Hope on this channel, by the way.
What?
We never went over Hope. We went over the song Hope, but we never went over Hope, like the whole album. Remember
We've been slacking on music insights,
we
okay?
really, really have. Guys, it's been really bad. I've been trying to make an episode that's with From Ashes to New, which is a new band that you might have heard of, and they've been making waves, and they're like Linkin Park V2. I've been wanting to make an episode on them since like I absolutely love the guys, but like we've been slack-a-lacking, man. Our music insights are rare to come by, man. It's just like,
Don't they usually also take the longest?
yeah, they do.
Cause with our UFC and with the WWE installments, it's like, okay, versus pros and cons, see how it goes. But when we get into our musical dives, it's how different people can take the same thing different ways and how it affects.
We really like lyrics here. You know, we really love lyrics and wordplay here. So we're gonna go crazy when that happens. So like, when in doubt, we make a fucking music episode. Look at this. We're an hour and 17 minutes into this film, and we still got one more album to go through. But fuck it, I'm not making a part. I'm not making a part four.
No, we got that. We got this time.
Hmm.
But I will also toss out there if you want another music insight. He's recently been listening to Hobson. Let us know if you want a music insight for that one.
Bro, I've been going crazy with Hobson lately. He's so good, man. I
Oh,
I,
I know.
I love him. I mean, I always knew he was good. It's just I never
Yeah,
really listened to him.
yeah. No, it takes a while to warm up, and when you go back, the best part is that they're all really good. But we are trying to finish Linkin Park, so we'll let them decide.
So we're gonna veer away from Hobson real quick, even though he is very good, talented guy. But
We
that's
would love for you to come on the show, by
on God.
the way.
Also, Mike Shinoda. I mean,
If you're in the area,
make my dream come true and let me have a talk with you, please. That'd be great. But anyway, so that's good. Goodbye. That was one of the ones that you wanted.
yes.
We both. I kind of had to do "Nobody Can Save Me" just because like it's a very very foreshadowy song, and it's like eerie how much it like fucking played out. But yeah, so I kind of had to do "Nobody Can Save Me." Now we did "Good Goodbye." Talking to Myself's a great song. I'm not gonna go into too much heavy detail about it, but it's basically about it's kind of riding off the coattails of "Good Goodbye," getting away from somebody that isn't is very spotty with you. Like the chorus is like, "You turned into someone else." Hang on, I might actually need to sing it. 'Cause you turned into someone else. You keep running like the sky is falling. I can whisper, I can yell, but I know, yeah, I know, yeah, I know. I'm just talking to myself. That's like really like this dude, like this person that I'm with. Like I see this more or less like romantic partners than I do a friendship. It just seems like one of those kinds of songs, but it can be applied to a friendship or fucking an old way that you used to live, talking to a past version of yourself. But like I can do all this, I can tell you all these things, but ultimately I'm talking to a brick wall. So peace out, I'm gone. So kind of the same message as Good Goodbye, that kind of not wanting to sit in a dark place anymore, and choosing your own happiness over somebody else's needs. You know, and really serving you and cutting out that part of you that held on to that toxicity. That's talking to yourself in a nutshell. But next one I want to go into, and we're gonna go crazy with this one, guys, because I fucking love this song. It's Battle Symphony. I fucking love this song for a lot of reasons. If I'm honest, like I got quite the personal connection to this song. Now, we gonna get a little deep here on the Front Row Access podcast, y'all. Past like 3 years of my life, 4 even, I've been a lot of, I'll say, growing pains. I had lots of, I'm not gonna get into detail, but lots of trials, lots of tribulations, and like this song, kind of, as corny as it sounds, kind of helped me through it. It like the reason why like I'm able to come out on the other end and be as good as I am is like resilience go burr. First of all, resilience go fucking burr. But you wouldn't get that resilience unless you've gone through something and chose to not stay down. You know. And when as a kid you looked up to people like John Cena, I spat on my mic again. Um, looking up to people like John Cena wore "Never Give Up" all over his shirt, and then him, in fact, not giving up. It kind of beats a little conditioning into you to, well, not give up. And to be honest, that's what this song is. It's not giving up. And this song, I've been listening to it whenever like feeling low, like going through those growing pains was rough. Like a lot of fucking shit happened. And this song helped with it for me. 'Cause I got quite the connection to this song. So anyway, we'll go right into it. First verse, Chester comes in. There's no Mike Shinoda parts in this at all. It's just Chester. Um, I got a long way to go and a long memory. I've been searching for an answer, and I'm always just out of reach. Blood on the floor, sirens repeat. I've been searching for the courage to face my enemies. Right? That's like, I'm tired. I'm hurt. I'm broken down right now. And I still got a long fucking way to go. There's a whole beaten path right in front of me, and I'm already tired, and I'm only this far in. You know? And I've got a long memory. I've had a lot of shit happen to me on this little beaten path of mine. And I got a long memory. I'm remembering a lot of stuff. And then, like, I've been searching for an answer, but I'm always just out of reach. No matter how much I almost get there, no matter how much I feel like I'm going in the right direction, something pulls me back. I've been searching for an answer to get the fuck out of this nasty cycle I'm in, but whenever I almost get there, I fall back again. So already the floor's set as to what this song is going to be about, you know? And the blood on the floor, sirens repeat, bro. I'm hurt. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding out back here. Sirens repeat. There's ambulances all around me, I hear like the war sirens in the background, and it just seems like it's just getting aggressively worse. But and I've been trying to search for the courage to face my enemies because, like, holy shit, I got a lot of motherfuckers in front of me, a lot of shit I still have to go through, and I'm here. I'm already hurt. Like, this is bad. I need some courage. I need something to get me out of this. Like, I don't know. You taking anything different away from that? That's what I'm getting from it.
No, that's a pretty good summary of of how it's going.
Yeah, so like, bro, I'm fucking tired. I'm beat. I'm bleeding out back here, and it doesn't look like it's getting much better. But then we go into this next one, pre-chorus. When they turn down the lights, I hear my battle symphony. All the world in front of me. If my armor breaks, I'll fuse it back together. Battle symphony. Please just don't give up on me. And my eyes are wide awake for my battle symphony. Repeated twice. But it's like, holy shit. I got all this shit in front of me. I've already gone through so much back there. But here I am. I looked inward for a second. I took a minute. I breathed. And I'm got my eyes closed. I'm trying to get that inner peace. Now that I'm calm, I'm starting to hear my battle symphony now. I'm starting to be like, okay, yeah, this is going to be hard. Yeah, this is going to be tough. But guess what? I can do it. I can get through it. I can pick my sword back up and I can go right back at him. And if my armor breaks, fuck it. I spat on my mic again. very, very.
He's spitting tonight.
I'm spitting tonight, yo. Not in a good way. But anyway, I'm gonna pick up my sword again, and my armor breaks. Fuck it. I get hurt again. Fuck it. I got a little welding torch. I can fuse this shit back together. I took some lessons from Anthony. I can fuse this shit back together. Don't matter. I know I can do it. I know I got things that can support me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll fuse it back together. Yeah, I'm starting to hear my battle symphony. Now, please just don't give up on me. Like, sometimes you can get to a point where, like, people are going to start to overlook you and, like, think, like, oh, this poor soul, it's a lost cause. And then all of a sudden you become a pity case. Nobody wants that. And then you're like, nah, don't give up on me. I can do this. Right? I know I can. I know I can. It's that big self belief. Now, all of a sudden, now that I said that to myself, my eyes are wide awake. And now I'm going to keep going. That's what I'm getting from this.
So never giving up and always going forward are some of the toughest traits that you need to survive in this world, unfortunately, because it's very easy to give up. It's way easier giving up than trying, guys. Like, way easier.
Much easier.
But you've got to keep moving. You've got to keep believing in yourself. And then others can also
Top.
oh, can also join in that belief and help make you stronger.
And that's what we're doing at that.
I am very close to my mic.
It's
Damn
okay.
I'll fix that.
It's okay. I fucked up the setup too. Don't worry. Yeah. I know, guys. I know. Steven, why didn't you plug in your computer before we started? I thought I'd have enough battery to get through this, okay? Guess not.
Music insights, man.
Yeah.
Insights.
Should have fucking thought. But anyway, that's what I'm getting from this now. Like, all of a sudden, now that I told myself this, and now that I've instilled that self-belief into myself, and I refuse to stay down, even though it's so much easier for me to stay down. I can't do it. I gotta get up. I gotta keep going. Guys! I don't think I really need to say it. When the fuck would Linkin Park say that in the past? To be honest, man, especially in the earlier days, it's almost like you subjected yourself to giving up. Like, you're like, there's no fixing this. There's no way I'm gonna get out of this. I'm just gonna stay the fuck down and I'm just gonna live with this depression and sadness my whole life. If you really want to encapsulate the early days of Linkin Park, that's kind of how it went. But, like, the growth here of actually instilling that belief that I can't give up, that I have to keep going, that strength, that resilience, that's not something that you're just born with. It's something that you develop, and it's also something that you want to do. You're not just born with some insane amount of resilience, as much as we wish we were. You kind of have to instill it into yourself.
Now, do you remember when we first filmed all these way back when?
Yeah.
Remember what I used to say during most of the songs?
Nah.
I would say, okay, but I like taking it from a different viewpoint so I can take a different message and a more positive message from it.
Mhm.
And I don't have to say that here because the positive message that you can take away from the song is already there.
Yeah.
That's the growth that I see at this point
In Linkin Park. In, like, Linkin Park's whole tenure. And, like, it's crazy. And then we go into, the production on this is great. It does pick up as time elapses. Starts off very, very slow, so that there's, like, basically no background at the beginning, and then it just kicks in more, and it's this really inspirational kind of instrumental behind the song. It like I said, man, Linkin Park complements their lyrics very well with their music that's behind it, and and then the one time they did, it was meant to put a point across, i.e., nobody can save me. Like, it could sound all cheery over here, but guess what? Listen to it, and it's actually this. Things are more than they seem. But now we go into, like, but this one's a very hopeful, very, like, hell yeah type of song, very inspirational, very hoorah of Linkin Park. But then we go into second verse. They say that I don't belong. They say that I should retreat, and that I'm marching to the rhythm of a lonesome defeat. But the sound of your voice puts the pain in reverse. No surrender, no illusions, and for better or worse. That's like, as you say to yourself that you don't want to give up, people are going to constantly tell you to give up because you're not going anywhere. You're not going to do it. How many times have you heard that you can't do it and it just makes you want to do it more? And look at me with this whole fucking YouTube thing. Anyway,
I mean, hey, if everyone decided that when people say you can't do it, they're just gonna stop, we'd be nowhere in life.
exactly. There would be no innovation if you listened to those motherfuckers that said that's a stupid idea. Why would you want an automobile? We have horses. They work fine.
Just points out Bezos over there, just like, yeah, no, I can make this whole shipping thing work. I
What are
got
you
this.
talking about? We have department stores. That'll never work. Amazon is now a fucking billionaire company. Superpower. It dominates the whole market. But anyway,
The
like if
fact that it's as synonymous as Walmart is
yeah,
nowadays. It's
I
like you
think
can just get it from
I
Amazon,
think it's more so if I'm honest.
and you don't even gotta go anywhere for it. It comes to
You,
you.
you go on your fucking little doohickey here called a telephone, and yeah. Once again, why would you want long distance communication? Why would you
We
want to
have
communicate through a wire? We have the postal system. No innovation would be had if people listened to the haters. Anyway, but that's like what this verse is saying. Like, yeah, there are going to be people that are going to tell you to not do it. That you're being stupid for doing this. That you're not going to make it. Okay, yeah, sure, he did that. But is he going to get through this?
and just think about like B Rabbit.
Yeah. Think about Eminem real quick. A little white boy, he can't rap. He choked on stage. Guess what he does at the end of the movie? Comes back and destroys all three of them motherfuckers. But go watch 8 Mile. Very good movie if you haven't already. But and if you did already, watch it again. I don't care.
Right? It's
Watch it again.
on Netflix right now.
It's on Netflix. Only for a couple more days, guys. Wait, isn't it? Is it only for a couple more days?
I think it just got put back in.
Oh,
I'm
it just
not
got put
sure.
back in. Okay. So if you have seen 8 Mile before, watch it again. If you haven't seen it, what the fuck are you doing? Go and watch it now. But and then we go back to the chorus here. When they turn down the lights, I hear my battle symphony. All the world in front of me. My armor breaks. I'll fuse it back together. And then we go into the bridge here. Now at this point in the song, the instrumentals are going fucking nuts right now. Like we went from relatively quiet before. Now the instrumentals are going fucking nuts as we hit this bridge here. Um,
Where'd
if
the
I
beat go?
fall, what was that?
Where'd the beat go?
Oh, ain't that son? Drums came in. You ain't see that coming. Sorry, wrong artist. But here we go. So it's if I fall, get knocked down, I'll pick myself up off the ground. If I fall and get knocked down, pick myself up off the ground. Do I really got to say anything? I don't think I do. I think that speaks for itself.
I've said it a lot of times on our UFCs. That drive is what gets my attention.
Like, do you got that dog in you? And if you do got that dog in you, how good are you going to unleash it?
Ride till you die. If you got that dog in you, why would you ever die?
Going fucking. Dustin Poirier posted a fucking picture on Twitter a couple days ago. And it's like me checking in the mirror to see if I still got that dog in me. And it's just like a Rottweiler in the mirror, and the Rottweiler's just up on the stage like this. Fuck. Not the stage, the counter. And then just checking to see if I still got that dog in me. And sure enough, he did. It was kind of funny. But, shout out Dustin Poirier. Go make some fucking magic happen on March 9th, okay? But, anyway, that's Battle Symphony. And, like, that was one of these songs that, like, really I got a pretty big connection to. A very personal level. It really did speak to me, and it kind of instilled that kind of it helped me maintain that kind of a drive inside of myself to not give up and to keep going, even if I don't want to. On days I don't want to, that's the hard part. Doing it on days you don't want to do it. But yeah, it's just one of those songs that I'll listen to if I'm like feeling a little low one day.
To me, it's kind of like the process to make a diamond.
Hmm.
It's exerting all this pressure and all this pressure and all this pressure on you so that you can show up, so that you have that drive to actually shine and be brilliant in what you do.
Guys, all a diamond is coal that withstood heat and pressure. That's all it is. So Yeah, that's that. Now we're gonna go into, I think this one we both wanted on here. Halfway Right. This is my favorite song on the album. As much as I just glazed up fucking Battle Symphony, this song right here is my favorite on the album. But it's really a gigantic self-reflection story, and it kind of encapsulates the entirety of what One More Light is. You know, it takes what One More Light is, which is growth, maturity, and it puts it into a song. Like, there's always that one song that defies an album. The one song that defied Hunting Party was Final Masquerade. That notion of not staying in what's broken, moving on to greener pastures, right? The fact of not staying where you are, before you're staying, is unfortunate and very bad and broken. One More Light is all about growth and maturity and strength. That is what Halfway Right encapsulates perfectly. Because this song is a very personal song, I can tell. It's very personal to Chester. And that's why, like, once again, this song is very Chester. There's no Mike Shinoda parts in this. And even the instrumentals in the background, very subtle. They want you to listen to the lyrics, right? And it's a whole story about Chester's life. He mentions his substance abuse in this. He mentions his own depression and everything that he's gone through in this very song. And we're going to break it down right now. I scream at myself when there's nobody else to fight. I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, I'm halfway right. Bruh. Already hitting me with a fucking bombshell. We're like 5 seconds into this song. And that's just, you know, that's Chester talking about his own depression. Screams at himself when there's nobody else to fight. When he's not out here and he's not lashing out at everything, he fights himself. And it's really bad. And it goes back to that other Chester that he mentioned. He said, I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. Now you're probably thinking, like, what the fuck is halfway right? Exactly what it sounds like. Halfway right. You know, he's not quite there. But he's also not quite not there.
When you don't have the answer, but you're on your way to it.
Exactly. And I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. Because, like, the right side of a wrong is right. Like, you know, the only thing that separates right from wrong is, well, right or wrong. If that made any sense in the slightest. If you're wrong, then you know to not do something like that again, and then you can do it right. But in order to do something right, you have to get it wrong. Yeah, that's what I don't know. Getting into a bunch of alliterations and shit. But anyway, so we go into the first verse. Used to get high with the dead end kids in abandoned houses where the shadows live. Never been higher than I was that night. I woke up driving my car. So he's mentioning his substance abuse here. He used to get high with the dead end kids. I hung out with a bad crowd. And I went to abandoned houses where the shadows lived. Like, nothing but darkness encapsulates this whole house. Like, nothing good's happening here. Like, I'm getting high with these kids that are not going anywhere in life. And I'm one of them, right? I've never been higher than I was that night. So that just goes to show the abuse. He definitely went a little crazy on this night. Maybe it was a party or something. Or I woke up driving my car. There's a lot of things that happen when you're addicted to substances like that. Sometimes you'll just come down from your high and just totally forget where you are, but yet you're still doing something. You kind of just wake up and then you're like, "Oh shit, why am I driving? Where was I supposed to go? What was I doing?" You know? And that can happen with it's like getting blackout drunk in a way and then waking up the next morning, but this way like you're still living, but you're under the influence of, I'll say, a psychedelic, right? And then all of a sudden, once you come down from that high, you're like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I in my car? Why am I driving? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And then all of a sudden, now you're even more panicked than you were when you were taking the fucking drugs, you know? And then, it says right here, I couldn't see then what I see right now. The road dissolving like an empty vow. I couldn't remember where I'd been that night, and I knew I took it too far. So I wouldn't doubt that this actually happened to Chester at one point. Like he's telling the truth here. Like he went out with a bunch of friends, got really fucking high, and then eventually took it way too far, and to the point that he's driving under the influence, or he could have killed himself or somebody else. And then he couldn't see then what he see right now. The road dissolved in like an empty vow. I couldn't remember where I'd been that night. I knew I took it too far. That just encapsulates it all. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh man, now I was so fucking high. I don't even remember getting high." Type deal. All of a sudden I was just driving,
Don't even know what I was doing or what I did.
or
I
what
have
I
no idea what happened.
exactly. And then at that point he knew that he took it way too far. Maybe that's what got him back onto the course of being sober. But I wouldn't doubt if it was. But and going to the pre-chorus here. All you said to do was slow down. I remember. Now I remember. All you said to do was slow down, but I was already gone. So basically, like probably a bunch of people around him told him to stop doing this. Stop going out like that. Stop getting high like that. Stop hanging out with them. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Slow down, Chester. You're gonna hurt yourself, right? And he's like he like dismissed it, and then all you said to do was slow down, but I was already fucking gone, man. I I did not have the capacity to take in that information that you were trying to give me. Like at that time I was way too tunnel visioned. Now I see the bigger picture as to why you told me to do that. Because I went out, I got really fucking high one night, and now all of a sudden I don't remember what the fuck I did. And I woke up in a dangerous scenario. And that's what I'm getting from that. And then go into the chorus, scream at myself, and there's nobody else to fight. I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. I know what I want, but it feels like I'm paralyzed. I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. But you know, it's like once again getting yourself caught in your own way, getting in your own way, staying in your own rut, and that's what Chester was feeling here. He goes, "I know what I want. I know I want to get sober. I know I want to stop hanging out with these guys, but I just fucking can't. I can't get out of my own way to go and get that help."
Yeah, this first verse, it's it's he knows how lost he is now. You know, with the hindsight, he's describing how lost he was at that time, though.
Hmm. And that's what he was doing here. And is and going to our second verse now. They told me, kid, you're going way too fast. If you burn too brightly, you know you'll never last. It was bullshit then, but I guess it makes sense now. I woke up driving my car. He goes back to that night. Once again, goes back to the point that I made earlier. Told me, kid, you're going way too fast. Burn too brightly, you know you'll never last. That's like more than saying a friendlier way of saying you're gonna die if you keep this up. You know, you won't last living this way. You're not gonna do anything living this way. You're just gonna be overdosed in a fucking gutter somewhere, and you're gonna go nowhere, and then you're gonna cause even more pain because you couldn't get out of your own way. And then he's like, "It was bullshit then, but it makes sense now." Like, I woke up driving my car. Like once again, he goes back to he references that night where he got super super high. He mentions that night where he went too far, and at the time, like, then they were telling him this, warning him and warning him before it got that bad. He was like, "Fuck it, bullshit, man. I'm gonna do what I want." You know, once again, that goes back to how Linkin Park kind of was back in the day, very tunnel visioned as to what they wanted. You know, as much as I'm not trying to shit on Linkin Park's earlier shit, I love that, but that's how it was. You know, they're very tunnel vision, like, oh man, everybody's against me. Why are they doing this? Why can't they just leave me alone? You know, let me do my thing. And that's how Chester. That's what Chester's saying here. He goes, "Yeah, I thought it was bullshit, but then all of a sudden I nearly died fucking driving my car under the influence, and I don't remember where I went. I don't remember why I'm here." You know?
And once again, looking at the past, a lot of the things that people will warn you or tell you about, you won't you won't take at face value right away, or you'll brush it off, only to realize later in life that shit, they were right. They were looking out for my best interest. It wasn't just because
They
they
wanted
didn't
to
want me to
control
do
me.
something, or just because I'm not supposed to be doing it. There's a reason behind this.
And then he goes into the second part of this next verse. He says, "Said I'd lose you if I lost control. I just laughed because what do they know? Now here I am standing all alone because I took it too far. Now look at me. I chose the drugs over all the people that were genuinely looking out for me. I chose this over the people that I should have kept around, and now here I am. I'm fucking alone. Like, what the hell, man? Everybody's left me, and that's ultimately what's gonna happen if you don't heed somebody's warning and you keep doing what you're doing. Even if, like, we're genuinely looking out for you, you know? And like, this could be family, this could be friends, like, and then they'd be like, "Yo, bro, I'm drawing the line in the sand right here, haha." But drawing the line in the sand right here. If you go and do something like if you keep this up, then I'm not gonna stick around. Don't expect me to get your ass out of jail. Don't expect me to take your drunk ass home or make, subject myself to making you my liability. You know, and don't expect me to do that because if you keep doing this, I'm not gonna stick around. And then he once again says, "I just laugh because what do they know?" Right? Yeah, sure. Oh man, oh, I'll be careful. So that's what I'm saying with that.
And then lo and behold, what
Now he's
happened?
alone. And
Wound up alone.
because I took it too far. And then we go back to the chorus. It's all you said to do was slow down. I remember all you said to do was slow down, but I was already gone. I scream at myself when there's nobody else to fight. I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. I know what I want, but it feels like I'm paralyzed. I don't lose, I don't win. If I'm wrong, then I'm halfway right. And then it just goes back into it. Just once again, that Chester hindsight. He was talking about his life there. And he's like, shit, man, that really fucking happened. All I had to do was just do this. All I had to do was put the bottle down. All I had to do was not take another pill. All I had to do was not take another shot of heroin. Like, that's all I had to do. And I had to get the help that I wanted. I had a support system. But then I fucked myself into absolute oblivion, and now here I am. I'm gonna take the scenic route to get back to where I want to be. And that's just this song's beautiful, man. I love it. It's so personal, and it's so fucking good. It's just the production, the lyrics, how the lyrics are delivered, the way it's performed. It's just amazing, and it's a shame that they never did Halfway Right live, and they never will ever. Because this song live probably would have been really, really good. But fortunately, it didn't materialize that way. But that's Halfway Right. And that's One More Light. One More Light, guys, that's a great album. 100%. Like I said at the top, stop hating on that bitch. Stop hating on it. I know like I said, a lot of Linkin Park fans are starting to come around to it now, knowing that this was Chester's last time actually recording songs. And, they got that power of, like we said before, that hindsight. But ultimately, like once again, I gotta say, man, I give this album a fucking 9 out of 10, just because you see so much growth, so much development, and so much like difference than what you're used to, and the way that they were able to do it, the way that they were able to go into this new realm of sound, the way they were able to play with electro pop, with just pop in general, and the indie sounds that you hear, the way that they were able to like actually take this new metal band from the early 2000s that was making power chords and metal screams, fucking all that back in the day. You take those guys, you go in and mention somebody in 2002 that this would be Linkin Park just a few years later, then nobody would have believed you. And the fact that they took that kind of genre boundary that they were almost like trapped in and just fucking broke it like that, then then they were able to make something great out of it and also deliver on so many different fronts. So One More Light's a great album. Go and listen to it if you haven't already. Anthony, what you giving this 1 out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 9 also.
Giving it a 9
Giving it
also.
a 9 also.
Fuck yeah. But all right, we're an hour and 50 minutes in, and we're gonna go over what happened post uh Chester Chester suicide, right? Take you back to that fateful day, July 20th, 2017. News breaks. Everybody's heart's broken. the whole entire nation goes into mourning for like a month. Like I don't know, like Anthony, you remember at that time when Chester Bennington died, and like that was like every single fucking entertainment headline,
It was very quiet.
and it was just like the entire nation just fucking froze for a second when Chester Bennington died. Because like I mentioned in I think one of the podcasts before this, Chester Bennington and Linkin Park in general were the voice of a fucking generation. 100%. They were saying shit that nobody was saying in rock songs or just in songs in general back in back in their time. Really innovative in making, you know, in-depth lyrics and mental health a big part of their program. And, actually hitting you with these like hard-hitting lines, these crazy lyrics that you weren't necessarily seeing in rock up to that point. And, Linkin Park just became this very innovative, very trailblazer group. They just paved their own path. They refused to be defined by genre, and they just kept fucking going. And unfortunately, it did come to a close on that day. Linkin Park will never be the same without Chester Bennington. As unfortunate as it is to say, Mike Shinoda is a very talented guy. I love Mike Shinoda with a burning passion. But Linkin Park without Chester Bennington just doesn't feel right. You know? I Mike Shinoda on his own, 100% I'd see that guy anytime. And it is my ultimate dream, like I mentioned, to actually speak with him about everything, because like this is a guy that like wrote all the songs that would be performed and that would propel me and help me through fucking middle school and high school. So like it's almost like a thank you in a way that I really want to do. But enough about that, man. Mike Shinoda did take the reins though after Chester died. He set up this whole memorial show for him in October of 2017, right? And it was about yeah, he mentions this in his Post Traumatic album in the first song, Over Again. Like he made a whole new album based off of his feelings on how Chester's death affected him. And every single song on this is very special. And like Mike Shinoda is super talented. And now, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, now that Chester's gone, he can really shine. He can show what he can do, you know? And that's what he did with this album right here. He showed up, and it was all about Chester. This whole album, his whole mourning process is this album, Post Traumatic. Let me go down the line here. Of course, we're not going to touch on all of them. It's a very long album, but we got Place to Start, which is just an intro. We got Over Again, Watching as I Fall, Nothing Makes Sense Anymore, About You, Brooding, which is an instrumental track, Promises I Can't Keep, Crossing a Line, Hold It Together, Ghosts, Make It Up as I Go, Lift Off, IOU, Running from My Shadow, World's on Fire, and Can't Hear You Now. Amazing song. Amazing songs, all of these. I highly recommend you go and listen to this whole album, Post Traumatic by Mike Shinoda. He poured his heart and soul into this album, and you can tell. He wrote, produced, and performed it. So it's all him, baby, no label. And but what I really do want to highlight are those first couple of songs. Over Again, Watching as I Fall, Nothing Makes Sense Anymore, About You, Brooding, and Promises I Can't Keep. All of those songs were written very shortly after Chester Bennington died. Matter of fact, he made the music video for Over Again the night that he was supposed to do the memorial show for Chester Bennington in October. Like, that's a little fun fact about Over Again. He filmed that video and recorded that song that day. And he talks a whole lot about, like, he generalized how his life was at this point in time. Now, we're talking late 2017, early 2018, right? His life at this point in time, guys, he's destroyed. He just lost his brother, his business partner, and his bandmate. And I mean, I say brother, but they weren't actually related. But fuck it, they were brothers. He lost his brother, his business partner, and his bandmate. This dude is fucking destroyed at this point in time. And no matter what happens, no matter how much he tries to sit back and heal, and like just take time to just process the fact that he just lost his like lifelong friend, career long friend. They met very later in life, but somebody he was very close to. and people just keep bringing it up again. That's what this song over again kind of talks about. He's like saying, no matter what happens, like I'm over here, I'm like struggling. I'm trying to tell you that I this is hard. I can't get away from these feelings that I'm feeling. Like I am mourning, I am hurt, I am sad, I am angry, I am confused, and all these motherfuckers keep doing is bringing him up again. And as somebody and two people that have experienced death, it is very much like that. No matter how much you try to sit back, relax, and just try to process it, get your head in order, once again it gets brought up. And it's just over and over and over. And you're like, oh my god, when does this end? When are you going to leave me alone and let me process everything? And that's what the song over again really just encapsulates. Like he talks about like he goes like it was a month since he passed, maybe less, and nobody knew what to do. We were all such a mess. Like the whole song, I don't need to explain the song. If you listen to the song, it tells its own story. He's talking about the frustrations that he's feeling. He's talking about that show and how he barely got through it. How he almost lost it in the middle of a couple songs, and everybody keeps asking him, "What is he gonna do?" And he goes, "Oh wow, yeah, it's really hard to think about what I'm trying to do. Yeah, my whole life's work is gone. Like I just lost the lead singer to my band. I lost my brand, a part of my brand, in a way." And that's what over again
What
really
this
gets.
song is really good at is showing the immediate aftermath that he was going through at this time. And a lot of people who have experienced something similar will also probably feel a certain type of connection to this song.
Anybody who suffered a loss, everybody suffered a loss in life, and this song really does it. It resonates with you. It's because it's true. Like, sure, he's talking about Chester Bennington, but like, doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it won't. It can't describe how you feel about grandmother dying or grandfather or brother, sister, friend. Don't matter. And then watching as I fall is another good compliment to over again. Cause like no matter what happens, even though like I can't process this right, I'm trying my best to like not get stuck in this place. But like I feel like I'm invisible right now. I feel like everybody doesn't really care, like doesn't really get it how I'm feeling. And, like people will always say like, "Oh, I get it, man. Well, I'm sorry for your loss." Yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times. Think I Do you think that actually helps me? Think that actually makes me feel better? You're gonna tell me sorry for your loss, and then you're gonna ain't gonna forget about me for the rest of the day while you go and eat your dinner, you know? And then meanwhile, I'm just fucking sitting here. I'm falling down. I'm spiraling. They're watching as I fall, even though they're trying to tell me that I'm gonna be okay. I don't feel okay. I'm lost as fuck right now. And that's pretty much what I get with watching as I fall. Anthony, having just heard this song recently, did you agree?
Yeah. The putting myself in his shoes at this time would honestly terrify me to no end.
Hmm.
And it's very well depicted in the song The Helplessness for the situation you were thrust in with absolutely no control over, and that keeps getting brought up.
Yeah. Like, bro, they're just watching as I fall. They're not doing anything to help me. I'm just fucking sinking over here. And then watching as I fall, feeling that way, that kind of resentfulness, that anger. Like, we already got the shock factor. We got the shock right here. And over again. Like, we got, you gotta think of all the stages of mourning. It's shock, then it's anger, then it's denial, then it's bargaining, and then it's acceptance, right? Did I get them all?
I think so.
Yeah, so you think about watching as I fall. This is like when you're angry. Like, your shock's gone. Now you're upset because people kept bringing it up and they keep not helping you. So now all of a sudden you're angry. Like, now this is your anger part of it. It's like shock, then now we're in anger. Now we're gonna, and then Watching As I Fall goes through. That's a very angry song. Like you can feel the despair and you can feel like the helplessness and how angry he is here. And then we go into Nothing Makes Sense Anymore. Denial. Just the dude in this whole song, he says my inside's out, my left is right, my upside's down, my black is white. Nothing makes sense anymore. Dude's starting to deny everything now. Starting to deny anything that he sees at surface value. That's another stage of the whole mourning process. And then this just this is him just denying it. He's like constantly questioning everything. Because not only did he just lose his best friend, now like he doesn't know what people's true intentions are anymore. Nothing makes sense to him anymore. And then we go into About You, which is once again that kind of like pestilence of like even when it's not about you, all of a sudden it's about you. That's the chorus of this song. And then it just feeds back into that same kind of energy. Like, no matter what I'm trying to do, no matter how much I'm trying to accept this, I can't. I just fucking can't. And it's very hard. Like I can't escape this shit.
The the most impactful and sudden thing that you don't realize until it's happening when it comes to someone close to you dying or someone you know dying is that from that moment on you're no longer able to do anything with them,
Hmm.
and that also means that in some aspect you'll always think we weren't able to do that together.
And then like it goes into that same kind of thinking. Then you go back into that cycle. Like I never got to do that with them. I never got to do this, that, the other thing. I wanted to do this with them. We talked about doing this. We had a plan set to do this, and then now it can't happen. And then just that just is gonna make it spiral even more. And then we go into the brooding instrumental. It's weird. Brooding, by definition, means like a highly like it's like a deep sadness and like a very big mourning like period. Like if you're brooding something, you are like mourning it.
Or your Sasuke Uchiha.
Well,
Well,
yeah, or your Sasuke Uchiha, but that but you see, brooding's one of those things that like you can describe, but like you can't describe. You know what I mean? It's like it's tough to put it into words. See, I'm struggling right now to put it into words.
the thing that caught my attention when I heard this instrumental a bit ago was there is a sudden and sharp note after you get lulled into like the rhythm and the beat, and to me that one note was the rug being pulled out from under you. Just
Yep, just because
then the rest just changed.
the whole song just kind of intensified as it went on. After like you get lulled in with this little like subtle beat, and then all of a sudden this little sharp note hits, and then like that's like you said when the rug gets pulled out from under you, when something bad happens, when Chester died, basically in Mike's sense, and then all of a sudden it just blah, it just like it just kept going, it kept snowballing, and I've never really seen like how much music and sound can encapsulate an emotion. Because like if you listen to Brooding, the instrumental, it sounds like how Brooding feels. It's tough to describe it. You kind of have to listen to it. But like there's no lyrics in the song at all. It's just the music, and the music speaks for itself. Like the music, it sounds like what Brooding feels like. I already mentioned that, but that's the only way I can really describe Brooding. And Brooding kind of just naturally flows into Promises I Can't Keep. And this is like the early parts of Acceptance, really, but it's also Disparity at the same time. Because Promises I Can't Keep, which is my favorite song on this album, by the way, um, he's talking about And he's talking about like how he's now feeling, like as far as Chester's concerned. Like he promised Chester that he'd always be there for him. He promised that he would do this, that, and the other thing. And he'd always be there for him and never let anything happen to him, right? Because I can almost guarantee you when Chester died, it wasn't the first time he went through a depressive episode, you know? And Mike, maybe in one of those previous depressive episodes, made a promise to him that he'd never let anything happen to him, you know? And then, well, Chester died. The rug got pulled out from under him. The shock set in, the anger set in, the sadness set in, the denial set in. Now he's starting to be like, shit, man, this fucking sucks. Because, like, you listen to, like, the first parts of it, it's like, what's the difference between a man and a monster? Is there somewhere between I can and I want to? Is there somewhere between the promises I made and the fact that I couldn't see something getting in the way? He's starting to, like, get down on himself for saying, like, why, how could I miss that? Why did I not see that he was acting like this? Why did I not try to help him? You know? And then he goes into the pre chorus and he goes, I used to think that I know what I want, but I never saw it coming unglued. Like, he never saw Chester. He always knew that he wanted to help him, but he couldn't see Chester getting unglued, like falling apart, bursting at the seams. I used to think that I know what I want, but now it's time to see if it's true. And then he goes, I had so much certainty till that moment I lost control. And I've tried, but it was never up to me. And I've got no worse enemy than the fear of what's still unknown. And the time's come to realize there will be promises I can't keep. Like, even though he's really down on himself for it, he's starting to, like, accept the fact that Chester's gone. Like, he's getting down. He's like, I can't believe I didn't see this. I can't believe I didn't do that. Why? How could I have missed that? He goes, but I guess this means that sometimes in life I can't always be that noble, honest, live and die by my word kind of man because clearly I let something happen to my friend and now I just have to accept the fact that there's gonna be promises I can't keep. And like I'm not gonna say that this song is full on acceptance. There's still a lot of despair in it, but it's he's beginning to accept it. And like then he's like start like this song is he's starting to get out of it. He's starting to get out of that mourning phase. And then when we get to the next song, Crossing a Line, after this one, and then he's kind of accepted it, which I neglected to show you that song. But I really just wanted to show you the grieving process, you know? And the promises I can't keep is the end of the grieving process because now he's starting to flirt with the idea of accepting that Chester's gone and that he can't always keep his word. As much as we want to, there are times in life and in situations like this where it's impossible. And he says it right here. I tried, but it was never up to me. Because it's true. It wasn't up to him. If it was up to him, Chester would still be alive. You know, they'd go on maybe another. They finished the One More Light tour. Maybe they would have made another album by now. Who knows? But we'll never know. That's not the timeline we're in. But that's like he's starting to flirt with the idea of accepting it, but he's still very down on it. You know, and that happens, especially when you're suffering through a death. Like when you get towards the end of it, you do start feeling that way. You start getting down on it. Like, I can't believe this, that, the other thing. But I guess now I have to get to the fact that I can't have this person anymore. As much as I'd like to, as much as I'd want to reverse what happened, I can't. And now there are promises I can't keep. And that's just something I have to accept. And that'll do it for most of Post Traumatic. I beg you to listen to the rest of the album. I only really wanted to go through the beginning of it. But I do consider Post Traumatic another Linkin Park album, seeming as it is Mike Shinoda, and Mike Shinoda was basically Linkin Park. Seeming as he was the instruments, he was the rapper, he was the producer, he wrote a lot of the songs. Mike Shinoda is basically Linkin Park, and as long as he's alive, Linkin Park will still be around. It just will feel a little bit different without Chester, you know? But anyway, I ain't got nothing else to say. You got anything to add?
Well, being someone who's recently had to go through the grieving process, I wanted to say that the hardest part isn't getting over it because the truth is you're not gonna get over it ever.
No.
You learn how to cope and continue living without it, but it's taken the first couple steps towards how your life is going to be after the fact and how you have to proceed with it. And it also helps you realize and make the time with your other precious people more valuable.
It helps you value things when you lose things. When you lose things, you value the things you have more. That's just a natural truth of life. And like that is a very good point. But guys, we're 2 hours and 10 minutes into this.
But we did finish the Linkin Park.
But we finished the Linkin Park special. It took us 3 parts.
Episode 5 is complete.
Thank fucking God. If y'all want another one, let us know. But to be honest, I don't know if we're gonna go into this much detail, seeming as Linkin Park is kind of like my thing.
Yeah, no, he's lying. We'd go into more detail with NF's New Hope one, obviously.
We're gonna need to do something on that one day. I mean, he is going on tour again, so
I'm guessing that we also didn't cover Clouds.
no, we did cover Clouds.
We did?
We covered
Awesome.
Clouds.
Alright, we got that one done.
Because remember, when we did the NF episode, NF released Hope like maybe 2 weeks later, like the album Hope, like 2 weeks later. I think we even mentioned that in the show, or at least maybe I did. But shit, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for giving us the past 2 hours and 11 minutes of your time. Honestly, that means a whole fucking lot. In hearing us talk about Linkin Park, but I hope you guys also share the love for Linkin Park that we have, and maybe, just maybe, I've nuanced you into wanting to listen to more Linkin Park. You see, maybe you never dove into them before and never really saw how deep it can get. And now that you had this 3-part series, you can get into Linkin Park. I guarantee you guys, you will not regret it. These guys are one of the best people on the planet. And thank you all for watching. Honestly, you know, we have the email frontrow15@gmail.com. Go follow us on all our social medias. It's Front Row Access.
Mountain Dew, hit us up.
Pepsi, hit us up. Give us that sponsorship. Logan Paul, KSI, hit my inbox, bro. And we'll see you guys later on. Thank you all for watching. And as always,
Peace.